Madam Chair, it is 6 o'clock.
All right, well with that, I will call to order this special call meeting of the Redevelopment Commission. And I just want to say thank you to everybody for taking time in your schedule for coming tonight for this meeting, because we have some important stuff that we need to get before the Alderman. We need to get decisions, resolutions made, so I really appreciate it. And I know this, we're only supposed to stick on the agenda. Before we approve the agenda, I do just want to say to each and every one of you how much I appreciate you being on the commission and the work you do. Because it's a lot, and it's a lot to rearrange your schedule at the last minute, and so I do appreciate it. Every single one of you is valuable on this commission.
That's a good vibe.
So, with that, would you give us a roll call?
Absolutely. Sharon C. Bryant.
Present.
Jimmy Dillahunt. Sarah Proctor. Leander Morgan Jr.
I am here.
Steve Strickland. Here. Julius Parham.
Here.
Kip Paraguay.
Here.
Beth Walker.
Here.
Tabari Wallace.
Here.
Rick Prill. Barbara Best. Hazel Royal. Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Okay, well, first order of business is to consider approving our agenda. And I know that we received that from Zep, so has anybody got any questions or concerns? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Make a motion that the minutes be approved.
Say
Okay,
The
so it's the agenda, but okay.
I mean,
It's the agenda.
say it wrong.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. The business of the evening is, the first order of business is to consider a resolution to initiate the upset bid process for 1037 Main Street. And I was able to watch the meeting that was held where you did not have a quorum. And I believe that was Mr. Freeman who
Correct.
was
Yes.
wanting to buy that. He did a nice job of telling the commission what he planned to use it for, just to enlarge his property. And I think he mentioned that he's been taking care of that property.
for a long time.
Yeah, so,
Yep.
so what we are looking at tonight is the resolution to go ahead and initiate that upset bid process. And also in your packet, it is in mine as page 404, Exhibit A. There are the conditions for that upset bid process, which are nothing new. No junk vehicles. That it will meet the covenants of the Redevelopment Commission, and the last one is no structure will be erected, placed, or permitted to remain on the real property described herein.
Yeah, that could become a problem, because he mentioned at the meeting, and if you look at the map, that the next lot over from what he is wanting to buy from us is owned by Newbern in Craven County, vacant lot, and then the next one over from that is also owned. So he mentioned he possibly could buy it all the way over.
So they would want to buy the both
Yeah.
of them.
So that would create a really nice building lot there. So I don't know about that structure. I mean, that's something he could come back and have us remove from.
That is something he can come back and have you remove.
Okay, then that's fine.
Okay.
Is the cinder block building gone? It's gone. It's gone, okay,
Yeah.
okay, right. Okay.
Well, that's a good point, but like you said, he could come back and have it removed,
Correct.
was able to purchase the other two.
If he is
Or
able to
whatever.
combine all of those lots and he desires to build, I've talked to Mr. Freeman several times. He has no desire to build, but should his descendants or his children want to build or whatever, they could always come back and request that with a plan, so that the commission can vet that at that time.
That's good.
So it's just sort of an internal control that says, until such a time
Until
that the
such
change,
time, yeah.
the plan changes, there's going to be no building erected there.
Okay. Yes, question, you have a question?
Just real quick, were we aware of those neighboring lots being city-owned
before this exercise came up.
I was thinking the same thing you
Yeah,
did.
a long time ago. I mean, there they are.
So I guess
I copied them down.
Yeah, I guess my question is, are we 100% certain there's nothing in use for us there?
How did we miss that a long time ago? We were trying to string lots together to build the megaplex, remember? How did we miss that? That we had a lot like that right next to some things we could acquire in the future.
Well, because they're owned by the county and the city together, and they're not on the, you know, we would have to go through that exercise of having them deed it to us again. And
That was hard.
yeah, that was a hard process.
It's a hard, okay, to go
I
down.
mean, and the 10 lots that we did get from them, you know, Deb gave us an update 2 meetings ago, I think, about the status of
Yeah.
them. And we're continuing to work on them, but until we can show that we can get those properties into the proper hands and utilized, plus they're also in the floodplain. I'll give you that. I'll give you
Okay,
that
that might be
information
what
also.
stopped it there. Okay, there it is,
Good
that's what
point.
stopped it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So,
I don't even know if I can say this on this.
You do, you have good questions there.
So while we're on this subject, piggybacking for future reference, okay? Because we had a developer ask about something like that. You know, remember we was on the phone and they're building this park underneath and build up high?
yep,
So there is some interest in floodplain properties with the understanding they gotta start at 10.5, whatever the kip footage is, 11 foot, whatever it is. Where you gotta start 11 foot.
Right.
But they're doing that with parking underneath. They're doing that in other cities as well.
Yes.
So that's a
And
thing
like
now.
They do that at the beach.
At the
once
beach,
you get
yep.
the water.
Yep. So,
It's
just
not, it
for
doesn't
future
make
reference.
it totally unbuildable.
Right.
Just makes it
More difficult and more
Yeah.
costly.
Go down Craven, go down Craven Street, you'll see it.
They're all up, I just like
All
that.
on Craven Street,
It's
Yep.
all in.
yeah,
true.
past Mill, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I just
Okay.
wanted to ask.
Well, any other discussion, or what, can I get a motion to initiate the upset bid process for that project?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have already had discussion, so I'm gonna ask all in favor, say aye. And all opposed? Okay, the motion carries, and we will ask for that upset bid process to be initiated.
ma'am.
We are on agenda item number 5 now, and that is to consider a resolution to initiate the upset bid process for 821 West Street. And we have the information in your packet. You have spoken to this
Sure. Yep.
person. If you have any other information you'd like to give to us, but I did not, he did not come to the meeting in May, did he?
No, he did not.
Okay.
Mr. Arenas is a current resident of the state of Florida. He works remotely in New Bern currently, in North Carolina currently, and desires to move here. He's familiar with the floodplain situation, obviously living on the coast of Florida. He's built a home in Florida that he intends to leverage in order to build a home here. He doesn't have a plan yet, but he does intend to build a home where he will reside at 821 West Street. And he intends to begin construction within a year.
Okay. I figured you had discussions, because I see that we also have an Exhibit A attached with this resolution to initiate the upset bid process, and it calls for that the covenants shall be administered solely by the Redevelopment Commission, that it would be a construction of a single-family residential dwelling unit, and it would start construction within 12 months. That the single-family residential dwelling unit would be owner-occupied, and the usual motor vehicle that's junked or partially wrecked would be stored on the site. And then we also have not more than one unattached accessory building located on the subject property.
That's correct, ma'am.
So, it was one out of order to have discussion first, or do we need to do that after a motion? I know we don't have an attorney here, so.
If there is discussion, you can have discussion first, but you can call for a motion as well if you're ready for one.
Okay. I feel like everybody was probably
So-
familiar with this from our last packet, so.
It's also the one we looked at and had a contract on with the other gentleman that bought property down
Brian.
Oh,
Bryant
okay.
Street. Yeah,
Bryant Street.
And this was one of the two that he had and had the same conditions on it. And
Okay.
the other good thing is it has a tax value of $8,500. So, yeah, we'll be getting a minimum of $63.75 for it.
Yep.
That's a better lot.
That's a good
than
deal.
that.
Most important thing is we'll get a house.
Yeah.
Yes, and I love that it would be owner occupied. So I see Commissioner Strickland that you have a question.
So he does not yet have a plan of what he intends to build there? Well,
No,
correct.
he does not, but he did indicate that his plan is to build a house that is conducive to the neighborhood. Those were his words. I didn't ask him that. Those were his words.
All right, so just thinking on the slippery slope, we have turned folks away because we did not feel as though their design met
Fit the neighborhood, right.
what we had. So if we are to take him at his word that the intent is to fit within the neighborhood, what will our enforcement mechanism be? Because I don't know that that's included in the language that's there as it's currently written. I mean, I'd love to get it sold and get somebody building, somebody in it, but in that same vein, I want to be fair to the gentleman that we turned away because his design didn't meet what we felt would be adequate.
Right. Cause he'll buy it and then he say he's gonna build something for a family, but you're right. Cause the last guy we turned down, he was gonna put a shotgun house facing the other house, but not facing the street. So we turned it down.
Basically, it
Right.
looked like it was going to be trailer, but
Right, right,
Just had a foundation.
yeah. So,
Well, the first criteria is these covenants should be administered solely by the Redevelopment Commission. Is there any kind of language to add that the house should fit the neighborhood? I mean, we're not the historic,
yeah.
That's a,
you know, we
that's
don't
a
have that already,
subjective
yeah.
type of thing. And
I guess from an enforcement standpoint, even any kind of enforcement, from nuisance abatement to minimum housing, there's no real legal way to say what someone can build on their property once it's their property.
But, I didn't mean to cut you short, I don't want you to go along with the conversation,
No, you're
but we selling property and telling people, this is our dream, can you build it, can you build this?
Mhm.
So is it possible we sell him the property and tell him he has to build this? I mean, we're doing it with DeWitt, right? We split a contract, we say, can you build duplex? He said, yeah, then he bought the property.
Mhm.
Can we do the same thing with this guy? You wanna buy, but you have to buy a house with this kind of specs.
Wasn't there some kind of wording in the CNI plan that hit it to it without trying to mandate it?
Well, that was the whole precedence of submitting the plan first. So we
Right.
can look at the plan like we did when the thing was too narrow, remember the
Right.
narrow
Yeah,
corridor, and we were
Right.
like, that don't look right.
Yeah.
See,
Right,
this is where we're right back to that.
And then there were certain covenants that did fit what the neighborhood looked like or what we wanted the neighborhood to actually look like.
So we
And
need
that was
that.
early in the CNI
Yep.
plan.
Yep.
So in this case, we need to hold off on this till this guy gives us a plan and what he wants to do.
correct.
Yeah, we're not saying no, we're just saying, can you show us a plan?
Can you show us a plan?
Because that saved us the last time,
Yeah.
with that narrow one, remember? It didn't-
And
didn't-
the precedent of the other house that we approved when our gentleman that's in the public tonight, Phil, brought that with another person. He bought it, I cannot remember that man's name.
We'll stay consistent.
Something.
So bottom line is, once they own the property, they can basically do what they want to with it. Bottom line.
If we don't have nothing in
If we
writing.
don't have anything in writing.
Right.
Okay.
That's why we always.
So we
block
can't
the plan.
enforce those types of covenants.
Yes, this body can enforce restrictive covenants.
Okay.
I would go back and do like we did everybody else. Let me see your plans.
Yeah.
If the plans suit our dream, you can buy the property.
So I hear that.
That's just
We
my
just
thought.
want to table it. It's not like we're saying it's big old no. We just want to see what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that the general?
Yes.
I do
Okay.
have a quick comment, excuse me for being late, first of all. When it comes to building houses or structures, I don't think we should have too much to say if it's not in the content of the neighborhood. We're getting personal, and I don't think there's a personal issue on anybody's property that should be our input. That's my 2 cents about it. It's their money, they're buying the land, they got to have some type of leeway. So, of course, we want it in the character of the neighborhood, but let's don't get personal.
That is a good point, Mr. Delahunt.
But, Madam Chairman, this is not personal. This is this board trying to make sure that properties, neighborhoods that we're responsible for are improved.
Consistency.
Consistency, that's all we do. This is not personal, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah,
This is not
consistency.
personal at all.
Because this is the problem, if we've done it before, and this is the pattern we've been doing. If we
Right.
get here and don't do it, now we got a transparency problem and a consistency problem. We've been following the same model for a while,
Correct.
for the last 2 years. So
We've seen the plans
we
first.
saw the plan first, now we don't take this plan first, what about the other 3 we sit back and said we need a plan? That's a problem, y'all.
Yeah.
And we serve the public, so we gotta stay, being that we've started this already, we gotta stay
Right.
consistent.
I would agree.
But you don't
So,
think that
General-
impede, you don't think that stop the growth of some of the undesirable lots that are in the city of New Bern? To me, it would. And I have some of the same circumstances myself. I mean,
Yeah, I can understand what he's saying. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
I
want to stifle
understand.
development, he's right, but I mean, we gotta have it within context too,
Right,
so.
right.
And I don't want the guy to come back that we turned down and say,
3 of
"You turned
them.
me
It was
down,
3 of them.
but yet you let this one go."
Right.
So we have to be consistent.
If that guy slides something in there,
It's consistency, we gotta
that's
bring
not
consistency.
what we look forward to, we're gonna create a problem.
So the general consensus I'm hearing is that you would like to not initiate the upset bid process, but ask this person to come back with a plan that we could consider.
That's my vote.
But if you're gonna table it, since Jamie's not here, you have to, when you table something, you have to put a date when it's gonna be reconsidered. I don't know how you can do that when we're requesting something from somebody in Florida.
Right.
Until such time,
I'm sorry, I assumed our next meeting would be the target. So,
Is that enough
I
time
guess
to get
with
that drawn up?
leeway, you know, as leeway, we could say,
July.
we could see it as early as the next meeting. We could put you on the agenda,
okay,
and if you need to wait till July,
okay.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's good. Okay.
Commissioner Paraguay.
Can we table it like that? Is that legal? Are we able to do it?
Yes, it's legal.
yeah, we're gonna do it, well,
Thank you.
and let Jamie scold us next meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Because I mean, I guess if he is anxious to get this done, then we can see it as soon as possible. But if it's too soon, we can wait till July.
Well, I mean, said in the language in there that he's gonna start to build within a year and expects to be living there in 2 years, so.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
got
think
time.
1 month's gonna.
Right.
It should, I mean,
Okay.
you can go to the grocery store and buy house plan books till they come out your ears at the checkout line and then rip one out.
Well, to me, you should already have a plan in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Truly, if he's planning on being here in a
In
year.
12, maybe.
Okay, so the next order of business, so no action on that one.
Correct.
We're not voting on that, we're not going to adopt it. Is to, it's item number 6 on the agenda, and it is to consider adopting a resolution to petition the Board of Aldermen to close E Street. And that is.
Part of the West A Street.
Yeah,
Oh, the one.
The West A Street property, that's that little.
It's a right of way.
It's not a road.
Kip will probably, I'm sorry, Commissioner Paraguay will probably be the best to talk to us about it.
If
You know that intimately,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, if you remember all the survey issues we've been having, part of it is there's a little tiny triangle that's probably isn't over the size of this table. That's actually that would be usable property after the railroad takes their 200-foot right-of-way. And so it's a very minute piece of property, but it would be beneficial to add to the West 8th Street tract that we have assembled there.
This is the place, is this the one that's going across the street that used to lead into Riverside from the back of Duffy Field?
This is behind the cemetery.
Yeah.
It's behind the cemetery.
Oh, that one behind the
Yeah.
cemetery.
The one that you come around.
Come around the back,
What- I
yeah.
don't think anybody would actually recognize it as a road right now, is it?
No.
They don't look like it.
It's a vacant land.
It's vacant land.
Yeah, I know.
But the surveyors
Come
will
off of
come
Bern
run
Street
into it
and then take
because
North Bern Street
Yeah.
and then go around the curve, it's right down the corner.
Mhm.
Right behind the cemetery.
Yeah.
I say,
That's my
it's
sure.
That's,
the land
that's
that
right
bigger
up
than
from
the
where
stable.
the little over, well, it's a little bit back over.
I will just say for, as a note from staff, that closing this section of East Street is necessary to move the project forward. If we don't do this, we can't get a survey, and we can't move forward with the West 8th Street project.
Yeah,
Move to close.
yeah, we haven't been able to survey yet, so.
Make a motion that we recommend to the Board of Aldermen and request the closure of East Street.
So
To abandon East Street, I guess.
That's correct.
I think I have a motion and a second over here. I heard both of
Yeah,
y'all
you
say the
call it
same
a
thing, so, okay. Call a motion
Who
and a
was the
second
second? Okay.
between Commissioner Paraguay and Commissioner Strickland. I'm not sure who went first.
His was more proper.
And unless anybody has any questions, I'm going to say, all in favor, say aye. And all opposed? Motion carries, and we will petition the Board of Aldermen to close East Street. And I agree with you that we need to, the presentation needs to be, the staff recommends that we have to do this.
Yeah.
Move forward.
All right, just before you call for an adjournment, Madam Chair.
Oh, we have another thing on the agenda.
Oh.
Yes, you do.
Don't be messing with us like that.
Sorry.
One quick thought we need to think our way through from that Board of Alderman presentation. The work that's being done in that area right now,
The stormwater.
Yes,
is
sir.
this something that access point, someone is gonna take issue with that, losing that as a potential way to put a road in? Should access be needed back where all that's being done?
Staff is happy to check with Public Works to see
Yeah,
if that's
I
an issue.
I don't think it should,
Because
but
that will go across railroad track way.
Yeah.
And the stormwater stuff is off to the, straight out West Street.
The stormwater is, the lots that back up to West 8th Street and then across the road from
Right.
B Street is where the big stormwater pond is and everything.
if this is skirting along the side of those lots in that triangle, could it-
I don't think it
I
will.
don't
Okay.
think so.
just trying to be thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good,
No, I'll definitely give George a call.
that's some major work over there.
Yeah, where were we? Phase 1, 2, 3, where we at?
4, 5.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're rolling over there, buddy, so,
He's doing a good job.
yeah. Absolutely.
That's good.
Didn't mean to interrupt you, Madam Chair.
That's okay.
You wasn't so
6A
nice the last time.
is,
What's going on
He
today?
wasn't dealing with Madam Chair.
is to consider adopting a resolution for an amended agreement with Carolina East Health System. And I was able to watch the last meeting that was held, got to see Leslie Allen, who was representing Carolina East, and that was exciting to see that the building's being manufactured, the lot's being prepared, and I believe this would just give them a little more time to finish that, so. I believe our resolution says till September, and when she was speaking, she said she thought they would be done in July, but
Let's give it till September. We
yeah,
learned
you
that
never
lesson
know,
before.
hurricane season, all the
Yep.
things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Make a motion to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. That was Commissioner Wallace.
I got that, in case you didn't recognize it.
And unless there's any discussion, I'll say, all in favor, say aye. All opposed? Okay, that motion carries as well. And now, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I have a couple of questions. I
Yes.
apologize again for being late. But two things I want to make mention of. And one is the meeting we had that I think I was disrespecting. And I don't think that should happen in a
Miss-
meeting.
One second, Mr. Dillahunt, this is a special called meeting.
Okay.
Unless it's on the agenda, we're really not allowed to bring it up. But definitely during the,
Okay, I understand.
just as a point of order.
But I was thinking about our findings, reading this mission statements, and I think everything is pertaining to our mission. So that's the reason I did bring that courtesy. And I was gonna also ask about I did read about the avenue, is that in this section?
No,
But
sir.
that's okay, that wasn't about that. Okay, but I think we need to be more respectful.
Okay,
Call me or not.
all right.
And one more thing, I think the people are the folks that doing the projects. I mean, I wouldn't go in nowhere and put a flat top and forgot all built up roofs. So I think they definitely need some leeway on what they decide to choose to put on their lot. Number one is adding to the tax base. And number two is something that they desire.
And I appreciate you bringing that up again. We have tabled that one for the next discussion, so there will be opportunities to
Okay.
talk about that.
And I'll make sure I try to be on time.
And we have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you.